Good morning, good morning, good morning, you too. How we doing this morning? Up old dark 30. Lately, I've been getting some really, really good sleep, which kinda is messing my brain up because this sleep is coming in really good. My body ain't used to it. You know what I mean? My body is not used to it. Sorry, the camera looks all kind of crazy, but I had to change the mount or whatever how I was be doing. What's going on, boss man? What's going on? What I need to start saying again is welcome in for those who are here now, and welcome in for those who coming in on the remix. It is truly a blessing to have you guys coming in and listening in on my little story or our little story or the stuff that we walk and talk about. Today I wanted to talk on the subject of it's time to live a healthy life. And what do you mean by living a healthy life? Well, it's a few things to that. It's mind, body, and soul. But our problem is most of the time most of us are living in survival mode. And what do you mean by that? Because of poor life choices. And this is not an attack. I'm saying that I'm saying this about myself. Poor life choices because of how we were brought up. What are we used to? We have literally torn our body down, and we're living off of supplements. And most supplements are drugs. They're legal drugs. We're not calling anybody a crackhead or anything like that. But most of us are living off of supplements that are so-called helping us to live. It's like that joke that I think it was Cat Williams that said. He says, we take the drugs for this, but the side effects are this. It's diarrhea, all kind of crazy crap. But we're taking the drugs for this. But this drug could also cause seepage, and all these weird and crazy things. But we're taking the drug for this. But it says might cause liver damage. But we're taking the drug for this. And half the time, we're not listening to what the doctor says. Because we all know the doctors are taking, they're taking educated guesses because they're the educated one. You know, I'll give you a prime example. Because of my type 2 diabetes, and because I'm old, and because I know I have low testosterone, I know I do because it showed up in the test. And the the insurance company doesn't want to pay for the testosterone supplements because when you men get older, we lose testosterone. I go to the bathroom a lot. I've even went to a urologist. They can't figure it out. Well, when you go to the bathroom a lot, you lose all the minerals in your body. And I remember I got a freaking $2,000 emergency room bill. I gotta look for that paperwork anyway. $2,000 emergency room bill because I was driving the truck and I started getting freaking dizzy. Man, I thought and part of my face actually um was starting to get numb. I thought I was having a freaking stroke. So I took a whole bunch of aspirin. I was at a rest stop. I couldn't get to the doctor. I mean, I was scared. I thought I was gonna go to sleep and not wake up. Went to the emergency room. They couldn't figure it out. They thought it was hot, this or that, but couldn't figure it out. Went to my doctor once again. Could not figure it out. I had all these blood tests and everything, and then could not figure it out. Guess who figured it out? With Google, me. Because of all this going to the bathroom, because I drink, and I do drink a lot of water. All this going to the bathroom, I was losing. My body was drastically low on potassium, and it was making me dizzy. See, that's why you got to know all the danger signs of your body. I was drastically losing potassium. Potassium you can find in bananas. You can find it in peanut butter. You can also find it in supplements. I started taking potassium pills and I've been okay ever since. And when I don't have potassium pills, I'll get a freaking jar of peanut butter and start having at it. Or I'll just have banana. Like I just bought some bananas yesterday. But now I owe a $2,500 bill, for a doctor that didn't know what the hell was going on. We have to start living healthy. Even I'm getting old. We're getting old. We have to figure out our bodies. You know, um, it's okay. I deal with it every day. We have to start figuring out our minds. Stop being a little. I'm gonna be blunt. Stop being a little bitch and figure yourself out. Figure your body out. Well, I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do. What I want to do. But then, you know, year or two later, they chopping off your foot because the diabetes has caused neuropathy, and your foot has lost too much blood. Do you see what I'm saying? Your foot has lost too much blood because you want to be a hardhead and you want to have that Snickers bar. You don't want to keep your blood sugar down. You don't want to do what the doctor's trying to do. The doctor needs you to stay alive so they can charge you more to come back to see him every freaking month. But you don't want to listen, not realizing that our bodies were not made for all this processed food. Yes, let's be honest, the processed food is freaking ridiculously delicious. You know, that pound cake with the whipped cream on top and the chocolate chip, you know, whatever. That's just freaking delicious. But our bodies was not made to take that stuff. We as African Americans were not made to take this. Now, you know, and we were giving the most horrific parts of the animal, and we made it into something. You know, we were giving the yeah, and we were taught to, you know, to take all that salt in us like ham hocks. You know, that's like eating a bowl of freaking salt. Our bodies were not made to take in all of that. And then we wonder why we got high blood pressure. Well, you know what? Let me tell you what the salt does. And the doctor finally explained it. I said, "Why can't I have salt? I like salt." He says, "Look, what happens when you have hypertension, which is high blood pressure, I believe. Don't quote me on that. The salt in your body is like a sponge. It grabs all of the water into itself in your bloodstream. And when that water it all clumps together, it stretches out your blood veins to cause your body, you know, when it stretches out your blood veins because it's grabbed all that salt and makes it harder for, you know, the blood vessel, the blood to move along, you know, in your blood. That's why you get the high blood pressure. So in turn, when we tell you to take less salt in your bloodstream keeps the blood moving and lowers your blood pressure. You see what I'm saying? That's why they say less salt. We The two things that we have is that and and the diabetes. Another thing is the smoking. I, I've been smoking for years. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Then you got lung cancer. And you know when you inhale smoke, every time you inhale smoke, it kills those capillaries that are in your lungs. And you ever see when the people's got the black lungs and it shrivels up those things that take in all of the air and separate the oxygen, and then you breathe out the carbon dioxide. When every time, because it's you're taking in smoke and you're destroying your insides. And everybody thinks that marijuana is this so-called miracle drug, but guess what? Regardless of that all of the cigarettes had all this extra drugs in it, you're still taking in smoke. So when you're smoking marijuana and these hybrids of higher, the TSI, whatever the hell that is, higher stuff like that, you're stopping one thing, but again, you're taking in that smoke. So we're gonna find out later that heavy marijuana smokers, they dying because they got black lungs too. Don't quote me on that because I ain't a doctor. This is for educational purposes only. You know, I would say when I was younger, but I suffer from it now. Out of all the freaking things that are wrong with me, I realize that I'm an emotional eater. And what do you mean by that? When I get upset, I will eat. When I get happy, I will eat. Actually, when I'm freaking bored, I'll eat. When it's free, I'll eat. God. When someone else makes it and it's free, I always say, well, all free stuff is delicious because it's free. But that's a problem also. we always make fun of the morbidly obese people, but guess what? They're getting something out of that eating. They actually get companionship or something like that. They actually, overeating actually makes them feel good. When they have that, they get something out of that. It's just like the serotonin or something, like it's something that is emitted that the body creates from when for an overeater that keeps them to keep eating. And you'll be wondering, they'll have a whole freaking turkey, 5 pounds of bacon, and they have one person, they can't even get up and move anymore, but they have someone sit there and make their food and bring it to them. They can't even move anymore. It's really sad. It's really sad. But there's an old saying: we're not getting any younger. Um, and I'm going to talk about, I would, Mike, I buy a bike. I needed to learn how to stay in my lane, but I don't, like a dummy. I was in a live yesterday, and a person was upset about their situation, and their emotions was all over the place. Why? Because they established by listening on the conversation, that person established a healthy boundary, but they snapped. And they snapped at the other person, and they feel bad that they snapped. And I was on that live saying, no, don't feel bad. You have to learn. We, nice and mean alike. You have to establish healthy boundaries. Most mean people are nothing but hurt people, and they become mean people when you attack them, or they feel like you're attacking them. As far as I know, again, for entertainment purposes only. Most mean people that are mean all the time, it's because you attack them, and they think because they're right, because no one establishes a healthy boundary. You will. They're just like that. Don't pay them no. That's the one. That's the one I can't stand. They're just like that. Don't pay them no mind. And I'm gonna tell you a story about that one. I know a certain person online is gonna start cracking up. I personally, and what I'm saying is, living a healthy lifestyle, you have to learn to protect mind, body, and soul. Your mind, body, and soul. What I mean by that? Okay, we have to learn how to start projecting and protecting our body. Our body, which means my body. I know I'm saying it over and over, but because I'm trying to, get my thoughts together here. Right before my wife's 50th birthday, I finally had decided to ask her to marry me. I had the ring. Her two older sisters, I think it's two older sisters and a brother. No, was it two or three? I don't know. I think it's either two or three. Three sisters and one brother, or two sisters and one brother. They came into town And I told her, let's take them to this place called Iron Age, which is a Korean barbecue restaurant where you sit down at the table, they bring you your meats, your vegetables, and everything, and you cook it on the grill at the table. It's so much fun. Well, we went there and we sat down, and you know, these are some country folks, but it was just meat. It wasn't meat, and I think one vegetable. And one of her sisters, she had this mad mug look on her face, like, what is this? Like, where's the where like where's the fried pork chops and the gravy and the collard greens, and what the heck? It had to look like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, relax, you'll enjoy it. And you know, the brother and the sister, the brother was having a ball, man. He had and these are older folks. Now this is my wife's 50. These are folks in their 60s, late 60s, early 70s, I think. Don't quote me on that. Late 60s or something like that. And the night was go. Yeah, no, it was three sisters and one brother. And we were going on to cooking, and she just had this mad look on her face. And was like, when they brought the meat, was cooking it, and she literally was like, "Where's the gravy? What is where's the?" Literally said, "Where's the gravy?" And I'm sitting there going, "There is no gravy. Just try it." And the waiter kept on coming by, and she looked up and said, "Excuse me." And the guy came up, "Yes, ma'am. Can I help you?" Literally, I mean, the most perfect. He didn't even have a freaking accent, but you knew he was either Asian and or Korean because it was a Korean restaurant. Perfect, just perfect English American voice. And he says, and she says, "Are you from here?" And he says, "Yes." And he said, "Yes, I go to college at Atlanta with blah blah blah." And she said, "Because I can't understand you." Later, I found out why. Later, I found out that either she was partially deaf or born deaf, can't understand you. And instead of her saying, "I'm losing my hearing," she said, "I can't understand you." And I looked at her and said, "What the hell did you just say?" I said, "Oh my freaking Lord. Why did you say that? Why did you say such a racist thing to this man? That man is speaking perfect freaking English. You can't understand him?" And I literally went off. And I said, you know, and I'm not saying that the lady, she's passed away, and if this hurts my wife, come on, this hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, but it's still the truth. Perfect freaking English. And you said that to this man. I don't freaking believe you did that. And it still had this mean mug on her face. And I said, "You said, you can't think that you can just say anything to anybody just because you're black." Now I feel like a white conservative. God forgive me. And how dare you say this to this man? And the guy was standing right there. And I said, "Sir, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. And I got up and pulled him to the side. And I said, sir, please forgive me. I just met these people tonight, and which is the truth. I said, please forgive me because, and I explained it. I said, you will get one hell of a tip. Because, see, I was in food service, I was an assistant manager, I was a line cook. When you're like that to people, you don't know what they could do. He could have took that steak that he gave us and rubbed his nuts with it, and then came out and smiled and pulled the hair pricks off the steak and put it on that grill. And I sat back down and I said, I said, what if that man said nigga, 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 nigga? I bet all y'all be, up in arms. And then that's when everybody got upset. No, you can't have it both ways. Now, if later on you said, "Look, I said that wrong. I meant I can barely hear," but you that mean mug on the face, and this woman was a so-called Christian. We have to learn how to establish boundaries. You don't get to act racist around me, and I'm not gonna say nothing. You don't get to act downright mean and cantankerous around me, and I'm not gonna say nothing. And then your actions is start a reaction. Sit here and take it. I finally got up, walked away. But she said, "You're not going to talk to me like that." And I whispered back, "Lady, you don't know me." And I was about to really go off. And she said, "You're going to apologize to me." And I said, "You know what? I bet you hell will freeze over before I apologize because you don't know me." And like the person in live yesterday was saying, I didn't want the dragon to come on me. We don't want to become the other person that we used to be because we put them behind closed doors. But sometimes for you to set the record straight and for you to not feel good about yourself because sometimes that heart does not want to hurt other people, but people continually want to hurt us, that we have to defend ourselves. The Bible says put on the whole armor of God, the full armor of God. We have to put on the breastplate of righteousness. What do you know when you have a breastplate? That's a big piece of metal that covers your heart. It's to protect your heart. You got to learn how to, when you want to live a healthy life, you got to learn how to protect your heart. We have a physical heart and we have a spiritual heart, and we have a heart that's connected to our soul. We have to learn how to protect our heart. Regardless, if we want to be pacifists and don't want to fight back, you still have to hurt your heart because people are going to beat on you and beat on you and beat on you until you finally say, fuck this, I've had enough. You son of a bitch, you're going to stop hurting me. And don't feel bad because you said it. Damn it, don't feel bad. Feel good because you spoke up for yourself. You spoke up because you're tired of being walked on. You're tired of being laughed at. You're tired of being talked about. You're tired of being lied on. You're tired of being pissed off because you don't think nobody loves you, but God loves you. And damn it, I love you too. But you're tired. You're tired of being tired. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. I've had my whole family kick me to the curb. My father thought I was a joke and that he could use me to his end and destroy my life. I told the story about I was going to go into business and help him out, but he was going to because of his actions I was going to lose my CDL, and I had to let him go. I tried to talk to my mother, but my mother was team pops and wouldn't listen. And I thought, hey, mommy, could you talk to him? And had me on speakerphone, and they all like I was some damn joke. I had my crackhead sister lying on me, used my truck, stole my truck a couple of times. I had to call up and threaten her. I said, if you don't drive my truck over to this address, you have 24 hours after that, I'm reporting it stolen. I lived my whole life with each brother and sister saying, your mother ain't shit because it was my mother. Your father ain't shit because it was my father. I've been treated and talked about. I remember my brother, I was standing in front of one of my other brothers, and my brother had called my brother Derek from the Bahamas and said, hey, Derek, I got a ticket for you. Go down to Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, pick it up, and fly down to Bahamas for the weekend with us. And he said, well, Darren's here. Do you want him to come? He said, no. Do you see what I'm saying? This is my fucking blood that treated me like shit. This is my freaking blood. Over and over and over and been stepped on. Over and over. But you know what? I finally said no. Enough's enough. It's time for me to put on my breastplate of righteousness. Not the righteousness of me, but the righteousness of God. And I decided, look, you're not going to hurt me no more. Enough's enough. So I love you. You know, I love you. I love you. I always love you. But I got to let you go. I literally said that. I got to let you go. And I haven't talked to him since. Didn't talk to my parents. Said, I love y'all. But until I come in and show you some respect, I can't come near you. And when I finally could show that respect, I came back and said, I love you. We ain't even. I wasn't even looking. You don't have to apologize to me anymore, because I don't. I'm going to do, and I'm going to protect me. Do you see what I'm saying? We allow family members to do whatever. They're just a blowhard. They just this. They just that. And don't speak up and say, hey, mother effer, don't you talk to me like that. Don't you talk to me like that. How dare you talk to me like that? We allow these people, just because they are blood, they be positive and we be positive. No, you're not going to talk to me like that. This is what, I'm getting deep, but you have to start living a healthy lifestyle. You got to start training your mind and your body and your soul to look. It's time to start living right. Living right just ain't eating and exercising, but living right is fixing your mind, your body, and your soul. We can't say trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not to our own understanding, and always acknowledge him, and he shall direct our path. But as soon as something bad go wrong, no. F that, I ain't trusting God. That's what, if you look at it, lean to your own understanding, that means going back to your own instinct. Well, I'm gonna do this. But you've been saying I'm for the Lord. I'm for the Lord until it gets bad. Well, guess what? You got to start training yourself to do that. People say they say that to do or to have or to change something, you got to do it for 30 days or something, 30 or 90 days, then it becomes a habit. Well, guess what? It's the same thing. We all talk about we're going to protect ourselves. We're going to protect ourselves, home invasion, or we're going to protect ourselves. I'm going to buy me a gun. First of all, if you're effed up in the head, don't buy a damn gun. Or if you buy a gun, just you leave it at the house and get you some training. There's a lady on here that, she's actually uh, in our big YouTube group. There's a lady on here that is actually a gun instructor. It's Black Guns and something. No, it's some. I don't know. She's a light skinned woman. She's an actual gun instructor. Calm, cool, and collective. It's scary. Calm, cool, and collective. But he's a gun instructor. That's the person you want to learn from, because if something goes down, I got a gun. You just point it one way. Bah, 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 bah. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss the target every time, and next thing you know, you're dead. We have to train ourselves. What do you think the military? While they run all of these, drills over and over and over and over, and you go like, I'm so sick of these gosh darn drills over and over and over and over. Quick story. I was a cook on a submarine, SSN 615, USS Gato. As a cook, I was in charge of ops middle level. So if something went down, I had to learn how to shut down certain valves, certain pipes, and close certain airtight doors and stuff like that. I had to learn how to do that. So when something went down, it was my job to do all that stuff. And this is so hilarious. We were surfacing one time, and I'm in ops middle level cooking, and in the middle of the compartment, there's the stairs that goes right up to operations, where they drive the boat. The snorkel, we were coming up, and they raised the snorkel mast to look around. Well, the snorkel mast got locked in the open position, and water came down. Water came down the shaft. It flooded in the ops middle level, and ops middle level, it came down those stairs. And I seen the water coming down, and the alarm went off. And first thing that came to my mind, oh my God, I'm gonna die! And I got up, and instead of freaking out, I started shutting things down. I started preparing the level. I closed the hatches, and I'm closing everything and running around. What get that, close this, close that, do this, do that, do that, do this. And the captain came over the thing, explained what happened, and the order was to go back to normal. So I had to open all the hatches and everything and open up. I said all that to say this. Practice. You got to practice. You got to practice. You got to be able to come down and cover your heart. You got to practice protecting your heart. You got to practice protecting your soul. What I mean by that? If you're Buddhist, open up their book. If you're, I'm not going to make fun of it. If you're a Mormon, open up their book. If you're a Muslim, open up their book. If you're Christian, open up that book and read it. Read it. Read it. Read it. Ingest it. Live it. If you're an atheist, I don't know, open up a dictionary or something. Ingest it. Understand it. Live it. Because you've only got one life. You've only got one life. I understand with a person that was, and I hope they listen in or come back on the remix. I understand what the person was saying. You're so kind and gentle. You can't help yourself. You can't. And I'm not saying change who you are, but you got to protect who you are because the devil don't care who you are. Do you see what I'm saying? And this all comes back to living a healthy lifestyle. You have to have healthy boundaries. Right or wrong, you have to have healthy boundaries. And one of those boundaries is, hey, you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to act at me like that. Do you see what I'm saying? See, because anxiety will eat you up alive. Hate will eat you up alive. It causes chemical imbalances in us. Anger will heat you up alive. It'll cause your blood pressure to go up. You know what I mean? I'm cutting down. I used to drink 4 or 5 cups of coffee a day. I'm down to one, and I got to get down to none. You know what I mean, guys? Our mind and our soul are connected, and we all know this. I mean, it's duh to our body. We wreak destruction by the pain of the past. I have I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I have no way to how to tell you how to let it go. I wish I had the. I just wish I had the magic pill. But some people, they're hurting so bad, and they want to hurt you, and they want to hurt everybody around us. See, this is the thing, guys. We have to surround ourselves with the right energy. But in my but in my really good friend, I suggested a live to go say, hey, this and I'm going to be vague, and I hope they get. Hey, I want go check out so and so's page, and I said this should be a good one, positive energy, whatever. Turns out it wasn't positive energy on the page. Everybody, not the host, but everybody else was so a lot of them were very negative. He said if that was a good day, I really don't I really wouldn't want to see the bad day with everything, you know, if they all that negative energy, I really don't want to come on there on a bad day. Do you see what I'm saying? We have to align in YouTube. It's kind of a slippery slope. I guess. Sorry. We have to start learning in this healthy living process that I'm talking about today. We have to start learning to align ourselves. If all of our friends are negative, well, guess what's happening? Guess what happens? If we're around all people that's negative, eventually that mess is gonna rub off on you. Eventually, you're gonna start acting like your environment. I remember I told the story. Guy across the street from me, Jay Jones. His family, all of them were loud. The father was loud, the mother was loud, the brother Jay was loud, the sister was loud. They were all loud, but that was their environment. Okay, mom, God, oh my God. The father, Jay, wait out. That's when you're around all these loud people. If you're around it, you will become that. So if you're around negative people that down themselves all the time or negative, I'm running everything and doing a pitiful job at it, but I'm running it. I'm running this house. If you're around all the negative people, guess what's going to happen? You're going to become negative. But if you're around positive people, people that are growing, people that are eager to have multiple streams of income. I'll use that one. If you're around people that are saying, look, you wanna grow, I remember I said this, you wanna have an A, B, C, D, elemental P, you wanna have a backup for the backup for the backup. Yeah, I love mowing. I love it. But guess what? It's become a backup now. I have everything I need to become a lawn care specialist. I even have some knowledge. I know what not to do because I effed my lawn up so many times. So if something happens with this, God forbid, driving this truck, something happens with this, I can enlist the help of my wife. That woman can sell dirt and make a profit. I said, babe, I'm a big chicken about selling. What should we do? And she would tell me, and I follow it to the T because I trust my wife explicitly when it comes to everything. And especially, so I would say, look, what do you think we should do? Well, we need to do this. We need to hand out papers and let's carpet bomb this neighborhood or whatever. And then from there, it's up to me. So that's one backup. I also invest. Do you know? See, we as African Americans, Puerto Rican, Spanish, Latino, white, whatever, low class or middle class or whatever you think class you are, upper class, whatever, do you boo boo? We don't realize that you can go to TD Ameritrade, open an account for free. You can transfer $10 to your account, and you can buy. Well, TD Ameritrade is switching over to somebody else. Schwab. The Schwab bought TD Ameritrade. You can open up an account for free, and you can buy one share. Carnival Cruise Line shares are $9, $10. So you can put $20 in and buy 2 shares. I started that in COVID. During COVID, I own 300 shares now. I have 40 shares of Ford. Ford was at $8 when I first started. I would transfer $10 here, $20 there. I don't know about the ups and downs, the analytics or whatever, but I know Ford has been around 100 years. They ain't going nowhere. I cruise on Carnival Cruise Lines. I know they're not going. They just invested billions of dollars. The Saudis dropped $400 million into Carnival cruise ship. They're not. They know something I don't know. So I'm following them. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a backup. I'm looking for maybe YouTube one day that this will become another stream. That's a backup. You do you see what I'm saying? You put yourself in other people, and you get in groups of like-minded people that's going to help you, your mind. They're going to help your soul, your mind. Once your mind and soul click together and become one, it helps your body because you feel better. You wake up with a pep in your step, like, oh, okay, I feel lighter today. And then start working on your body. I literally, as a truck driver, I can't. If I eat too much, I'm not gonna make it. So I try to curtail my eating habits to 1 meal a day. You know what I'm actually doing when I curtail it to 1 meal a day? I'm literally intermitting fasting. I'm doing intermittent fast. I'm eating once a day, giving my time and my digestive system time to slow down and read whatever. When I got off the boat, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was at 260. Guess where I'm at today? I'm at 245. And that was just eating one meal a day. Now, because I'm diabetic, type 2, I'm leaving the carbs alone. I'm slowing down on the carbs. When I look at something, I look on the back, how many carbs I got. I try to get it down to one cheat a week or a cheat day, but I'm thinking about my body. I'm older. I'm damn 56, 55, 56, somewhere in there. You know, we have to think about our body. When I look, I'm looking how much salt, how much sodium's in the stuff that I'm about to buy. And we're taught you're gonna eat everything on that plate or else. That's the old school. So we're used to when you eat, if I don't feel full, if I'm not stuffing at the gourd, and then this is what's wrong with parents. Some of y'all, we doing this wrong. Let them eat till they don't want to eat no more. So start them out with a small plate. Don't waste food because this stuff is expensive. But I'm used to, I was brought up, you got to stuff yourself. And if you don't stuff yourself, you're not full. And guess what that causes? Now you're becoming bigger and bigger. You're eating too much. You're eating too much. Instead of eating till you're satisfied. We have to learn these little basic things. Dr. Sebi, I'm not what do you call it? These theories or whatever, but the man was saying, specific things that would help a person. He said, if and I believe that the right diet in the right proportions could stop anything. You hear stories about that. So I'm not saying my diet will help you, and I don't say diet. You know why I don't say diet? I say lifestyle, because when you say diet, that means that it's telling me I can't have something. So I'm automatically like on borrowed time. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's not what I want. I want to live this way for a reason. So I can feel better. I won't be aching and all this other stuff. Because certain foods cause certain reactions. We just have to learn what food does what vegetable does what. I like, there's a book called Ketotarian, which is the keto lifestyle and the vegetarian lifestyle. I would like to move into that thing, but I'd have to have a ton of vegetables on this truck. And it's kind of hard. I say these things, guys, because we have to start, including myself. We have to start, because look, if you look at it, there's people that have lived over 100 years. They need to start telling us what are they doing to live that long. You look at the difference of someone who exercises every day, and they say, well, they are 70 years old. I need to figure that one out. You know what I mean? This is not something to dog anybody out. If you think I'm not. But look, I'm still big, but I'm trying. You got to try. You got to get down there. You got to dig deep and figure out what is it that's going to make me feel better and me feel. I would love to see my. I'm gonna say it like this. I'd love to see. Okay, I'm not even gonna say a 6-pack. I would love to see a 4-pack, maybe, before I go. before I go to see Jesus. Because right now I got a keg. You know what I mean? We have to look down and figure out. I was brought up like this. I was brought up like this. That we have to we can't use smoked turkey necks. We gotta have ham hocks. We gotta cook with that pork, and yes, pork fat is delicious. And I'm not saying don't stop doing it, but slow down a little bit, moderate. But the keto lifestyle, here's something. Think about this, and I think I kind of tend to believe it. Crisco, that Crisco oil that comes in a can. I don't know if this is true, so this is for entertainment purposes only. They were looking for some other way to use that Crisco oil that comes in a can, other than the original way. So the company went and bribed um, and bribed the American Heart Association to tell them that you know animal fat, bacon grease, and all that stuff was bad for the body. But if you use this Crisco oil, it's going to help your cholesterol levels. I'm gonna tell you something. The doctor had prescribed me with um, high cholesterol medication, and I had read it in the book, in the keto book, that the keto lifestyle would lower your cholesterol. I didn't believe it, but guess what I did? I went full tilt boogie. I followed it to the T. And 2 months later, and I followed it to T. I was eating bacon grease and bacon fat and bacon and all the fat from the oils of the animals and whatever. And then I was taking the healthy cholesterol medicine. No, the healthy oils like the salmon oil and all those pills that look, that are clear. I was taking them. Guess what? 3 months later, 3 or 2 months later, went back to the doctor, had a blood test, and she took me off the cholesterol medicine. And guess what? That Crisco oil, the original use, that hard grease that you have in the can, they it said it on TikTok. The original use for that was to grease airplane parts. Grease airplane parts. Tell me that ain't crazy. I don't know if that's true or not. So do not quote me on that. But it was the original use for that was to grease airplane parts. Guys, we're being lied to. Last year we went to Costa Rica and we had food. No food that was American. As far as I know, none of the food we had was American made. No processed meats. We had fruits and vegetables. They were actually selling the eggs. The eggs were not even refrigerated, wrapped in plastic on a shelf in a Walmart, wrapped in plastic. Rows and rows of eggs. We're like, wait a minute, that ain't refrigerated. You gonna die. We're alive today. We had eggs and all kind of stuff. My acid reflux was down 75% from eating food. You know, you could see the chicken. It didn't look like a brontosaurus chicken leg or oversized breast. Like the poison that they're pumping into us in this country. I wish I had time. That's why I look at a lot of these homesteaders that they're growing their own vegetables, they're growing their own, you know, their own stuff. They're having their own chickens and stuff. I don't know. I could do that because if I got to kill you, you know, trust me, if I had no other choice, if I ain't eating in a week, yo, that chicken gonna be fried, and I ain't gonna have no problem taking them out. But right now I'm spoiled. Oh Lord, this guy's swerving. I don't know if y'all can see him up there. He's swerving all over the place. He's tired. I can't blow by him. So I'm gonna let him stay up there. Um, and I remembered. I think I did a short on that. That I actually for the whole week. That's why I can't wait. We're going back down to Costa Rica. I can't wait because I just want to have food that I know might and probably not being poisoned like all of the food that we have. Even the fruits and vegetables we have here, they're being, they got the chemicals and the stuff on them that, yeah, they say do this, do that. Well, yeah, you're washing some dirt off of it, but is it removing the chemicals that have been injected into our fruits and vegetables? Think about it, you know? Think about it. But we have to make an effort. I'm making an effort um, to eat a little bit better, to eat a whole lot better, you know, because not getting any younger, not getting any. I need to start. I be riding. Yeah, a lot of people think that this is easy, but you're so wore out mentally. You know, I have to look at one, two, three, four, five, six mirrors every few seconds. And you were wondering, I got you. I gotta have you gotta have a sharp mind because this stuff. If, next thing you know, you're in the ditch. Next thing you know, you're in a ditch. It's so funny. You have to. Got the green light. Y'all hear that sound? That means, and I'm okay to drive past the weigh station. We get weighed every few hundred miles. Love it, love it, love it. See, but a lot of times, if we start eating healthier, and everybody thinks it's vegetables. It could be eating more vegetables, or it could be the pescatarian, or the low carbs. It's whatever works for you. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever works for you. In the long run, the person that's benefit is you when you start eating healthy. We really need. I remember. I think it was Urban Garden Chronicles, and she's right because I remember reading that somewhere. These plastic water bottles that we all got, and I got it too. I got one in my hand. The plastic. What comes off that plastic into the water that we're drinking is a synthetic estrogen. A synthetic estrogen. That's not good. We're inhaling that. Do you know most of and I'm not telling y'all to not take deodorant, but most of the deodorant that you're rubbing under your shoulders has, I think it was aluminum in it. And under your shoulders, that light skin in the vessels right there, it's injected. It goes straight. It's absorbed straight into your body. So we're slowly giving ourselves metal poisoning. And too much fish. Did you know too much fish? There's a lot of people that just only eat fish. Too much fish can give you mercury poison. From the years of these other countries and the United States dumping in the ocean, the fish swim through that. They pick up that mercury, and then next thing you know, it's re-injecting in us because you think you're eating healthy because you're eating the fish, but somewhere along the fit, that fish is swam, that school of fish is swam into, where someone dumped illegally dumped poison into the ocean. Think about it. There's actually people that say, a doctor comes and says, you eat one more piece of fish, doesn't matter, broiled, fried, or whatever, you're gonna kill yourself. I don't know if this is true. That spray, Pam, the gas that's pumped into that spray, someone said is butane. When I get home, I'm gonna go look in the supermarket, look and see what if that's true. If you ever notice slow sodium this, potassium this, and triglyceride this, and all of these things that are in these processed foods that we were like, well, it's just Wonder Bread. Well, I thought Wonder Bread would just be flour, water, yeast, and salt, not potassium biprate and seraphirate or whatever. You see what I'm saying? This is not a scientific conversation, guys, so please forgive me. But it's just something to open up open up our minds, our bodies, our soul to figure out. Look, we have to. It's just like we have to start aligning I don't know if y'all believe in chakras, but some of that stuff is just some truth to that. We have to start aligning ourselves in one specific pattern. And what I'm saying, not align yourself like me, but align yourself so you can be at ease with yourself and feel more energetic. People tell stories about when they stop eating this or stop doing that, and and certain pains have went away. This one lady she said, she was, couldn't even move half the time, and now because she put this meat down and that down, and now she's living better. People tell these stories, and we just got to look at it. We just got to figure it out for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We got to figure it out for ourselves. Yeah, we say that, generations, we were, I was just thinking about this. We were, we were given as slaves, all the bad parts and made it into something or whatever. But you go over to Africa, they eat every bit of that daggone cow. There won't be nothing left. Cow feet, cow this, cow nuts, cow, cow tail. Everybody say oxtails. When have you ever seen an oxtail in the United States? The comedian said that, but it's true. We eat, and we say, well, everybody else eat, they eat everything, but you know what? They in better health than us. We need to figure out what they doing. Oh, because they're not eating these the beef here that's injected with growth hormone. Then we wonder why our 7 or 8 year old baby girl has got a butt of a woman. We're injected with all this poison and stuff because they want to get the stuff to market. That chicken that you're eating has probably had a lifestyle of 8 to 16 weeks, and 9 times out of 10, they grow so fast that they can't even get up, and they're actually. And I'm not a vegan. Trust and believe that they're actually growing in the dark to keep them docile. And they say they stopped doing that, but I drive all across the country. You could always tell a chicken coop, because it's real long with fans on the end. Never drove by with the windows open. Ain't no windows. Ain't no windows. Half the chicken, they're sitting in their own feces and not cleaned out. And if you guys, it had nothing to do with. It just had nothing to do with being a vegan or a vegetarian. But if you ever been to a slaughterhouse, chicken, beef, pork, whatever, and the smell that you smelled in there, trust and believe, you give it up. Look, I think I don't do it no more. I'm like, Lord, please, Lord Jesus, have me forget what I smelled in there, because I won't eat another chicken, another piece of beef, or nothing. you know, these are just something to think about. The early morning, we just talking, but like it's so funny. I had to, Mike is still in here. I repotted the babies. I lost quite a few of them because of those gnats. They decimated. I sprayed this certain oil that I found. I sprayed. They decimated my crop of babies. I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left, and they're thriving. And I think my jalapeno pepper plant is thriving. And I got a bonsai that's literally on its last leg. It's got about 8 leaves on it left. It's trying, so I brought it out here because the missus decided any plant I bring there, she's not gonna water. And I'm gonna see if I can bring it back to life. Excuse me. But we have to, and I'm saying we, meaning me, I have to start back to living a healthier lifestyle. I want to get under. I'm at 245 right now. And what I do also, it helps to my diabetes and other things. I take fiber to keep stuff moving. We have about like 5 to 10 pounds of waste in our body, and we'll take fiber, keep it moving, get it out of you. You know what I mean? But I want to get down to below around about 220. So in other words, I want to lose about another 25 pounds. And if I start seeing my stomach, I'm gonna keep it there. But not, I'm gonna keep going. But I want to start living a lifestyle so I don't. Here's the deal, guys. I haven't thrown away my big boy clothes. I want to throw away my big boy clothes. I want to be able to walk with my wife without being in such pain from having all that weight on me. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to get out there and enjoy that time together with her, not because it makes her happy, but because it makes me happy also. I got home I went to the house this weekend. Anybody else would have been upset that their lawn looked like a jungle, but I was like a kid in a candy store. When I came home, I went, oh yeah, the front is a little low. That wasn't low. It looked like a jungle out there, and I was in seventh heaven. I literally walked into the garage, looked at my fleet of lawnmowers and did a eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a lawnmower by the toe. If it hollers, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And I picked the driving lawnmower and got it, backed it out, and started having the time of my life mowing. You don't know until that testosterone starts working again. The manliness I felt when I backed the mower up out of the garage and engaged the blade and watched the destruction that it cut and the smooth lines that I had on my mower for my grass. I was like, yes, it's seventh heaven. And the funny thing is, the subconscious tells you, I want to do this, I'm going to do that. And they're like, nah, I don't need that right now. But I found enjoyment in something I like to do, and I just had a ball doing it. And then the next day, I got out early morning, and I said, you know what? Instead of sitting on my butt and driving, let me get out the push more and mow 5,000 square feet. That was my backyard. I think it's five, somewhere around there. Because I checked it from the satellite, so I know it's close to that. I sat and walked around and pushed up because I'm like on a slant, so a lot of my backyard is like a uphill incline. So if you really think about it, I'm working out, and I pushed and cut and pushed and cut and pushed and cut and pushed and pushed and pushed, and it looks a whole lot better, a lot neater. And see, everything doesn't have to be you're going to the gym. There are actually workouts when you're cleaning up around the house and just start your day. Get your Fitbit. I remember one day I had the Fitbit on. I checked, and I said, "Oh, well, you drove up to the store. It only clicks a few times." But one day I checked. I walked 9 miles, going in and out of the house, doing all this yard work, walking around, weeding and hedging and moving dirt and lifting up and do that. I walked 9 miles. Stay active, be proactive, be reactive, don't be inactive. Hello, somebody. Can I get a amen? understand. Understand your body. You got this. I don't know if that helped anybody, but I feel uplifted. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down. I'm going to get, as always, let you guys know. Hey, look, oh my goodness. We driven about 100 miles, y'all. You got to be helping the brother. I got, we driven about 100 miles. Always know you can do this. You got this. Protect, react, anticipate, fix. These are the things you need to do. Fix your body. It'll help all you. When you start working on self, it'll fix a lot of situations. My my end result, I would like to be off of these drugs. I would like to be off of these drugs. And each day I think about it, I think about it even more. I like to be off these drugs. I know I can do it and you can do it too. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I just want to say thank you for coming in. Thank you for, hanging out with us. Just let you know you are greatly appreciated. And just know if you don't think anybody loves you, I love you and God loves you too. Y'all have a blessed day.